it's Kamal Fernandez here from Kamal Fernandez Dog Training. Following on in my series on lifting all ships. The series is about the current climate that we are in, where we are restricted and it's a little bit surreal, and people are feeling certain types of ways about the experience that we are all having globally, and a way in which we can inject some positivity into the atmosphere. I've been reaching out to people that I consider friends, peers, that are not only dog trainers, I also do training online, but also each person's had something that they've brought to the conversation. Today I am speaking to the ever so chic Ashleigh Butler, infamous, world-renowned Britain's Got Talent winner with her amazing Pudsey. Also the Crufts, hang on, I've got to get this right, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 champion. Quite an impressive resume there. Most importantly, obviously, most of you are going to be familiar from Ashleigh from her success on television, and I thought it'd be a really interesting conversation to talk to Ashleigh about dealing with being, in the limelight, which is something that maybe not most people have experienced, but certainly being in strange situations, and also her latest achievement, which was winning Crufts with her mum's dog, Eliza, and we're going to touch on that. So how are you doing, Ashleigh? How are you coping in this current climate then?
I am very good, thank you very much. I love sun, so at the moment I'm very happy. I just get to sunbathe and train my dogs. Haven't quite yet gone stir crazy, right. Not quite yet.
But even with Ant all that time, Jesus, you are doing well.
I know. Trust me, there's been a few moments where I wanted to kill him. But, no, it's been good. And actually the good thing is that I've been able to focus on things that I haven't been able to focus on, right. Like specific training things with my dogs and stuff like that. So in a bittersweet way, it's been, quite productive, but also the days are very long.
I'm sure, yeah. So obviously just a little bit of touch on those, your current crop of dogs you've obviously got Sully and you've got your little Pyrenean. What's her name?
So my Pyrenean, she is called Zula, and she is 2 years old. She's from Germany. I have loved Pyrenean sheepdogs ever since I saw Sylvia's, her very first one, years and years ago. And then, I finally got her. She's actually my first ever pedigree dog that I've owned myself.
Oh, really?
So, yes. Okay. So, I'm quite picky with my dogs, actually, right. and which ones I like and which ones I don't like. Yeah. So, I love my crossbreeds. I love what I get from them. And I've also got Eliza now, who is a bearded collie. So I've taken her on as well. So I've got 3 of them.
So are they all related to Pudsey then?
No, none are related to Pudsey. Okay. Everyone thinks Sully is related to Pudsey. Yep. They are similar, where Pudsey had Bichon Frisier in him. Sully has Poodle. So they're similar, but no relation whatsoever.
And Eliza is a
bearded collie. Just never grew.
Really?
She must be, she must be the only bearded collie out there that is medium. So her mum was show lines and her dad was working lines. But she just never grew.
Well, I didn't know that. That's a surprise. I just thought she was the same as Sully, so that's an interesting little bit of information. So obviously you do online training. What is it that you do, and if people want to contact you, because I'll put your website and details, what is it that you do online, and how long have you been doing online training for?
So I properly started my dog training business at the beginning of last year.
Right.
I had taught for years and years and years, but it was me going to other people and clubs and things like that. So last year I decided to take the time and actually set up my own business. So I did that. I've got a Facebook page, just Ashleigh Butler Dog Training. Yep. And then this is one of the good things with the lockdown, is that I was thinking about going online anyway with my training, but with everything else going on and teaching here, there and everywhere, I just hadn't got the opportunity to do it. So the lockdown happened and I was like, here we go, perfect opportunity. So at the moment I offer trick training, and I did that instead of agility because straight away there was a huge market for agility. Loads and loads of people were doing online agility training. So I decided to take a little bit of a different spin and do my trick training.
Excellent.
and yeah, it's done amazingly, and I've had really, really good feedback from it. So yeah, I'm happy with the progress at the moment.
Yeah, amazing. So you're quite what I'd qualify as a Renaissance woman, Ashley. You do a lot of things. What is the thing that you are most passionate about? What is the thing or that you love to do the most? Obviously, you're in the media. You do trick training. You do agility training. You know, I'm sure you do other things. You're here, there, and everywhere. What is the thing that you are most passionate about, and what is the thing that you enjoy the most to do?
Yeah, like you said, I'm very lucky that I have a wide range of things that I get to do with my career. I love performing on stage, so I do a lot of panto and things like that. I absolutely adore that. But when you do it, it's very, very intense. So for 8 weeks, I am living panto basically at Christmas. I don't really have a Christmas. So it's really intense when you're in that moment. It's boom, 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 boom. So you're quite happy when
it's done. Oh, hang on.
Comes to the end. Not that I loved it, but you're also done with it. Trick training and heel work to music is something that came to me when I was about 15, and started with Pudsey just through the YKC. They had qualifiers, so I just went, hey, let's give it a go. And he was a natural. And back then, obviously, there was the amazing Richard Curtis and Mary Ray, but there was no training. So there was no, apart from Mary Ray's book, which I took on and did a lot of tricks on that, a lot of it was just me teaching myself and then my dogs. So I took that on. And then agility I've done my whole life since I could walk, basically. That's been my first kind of passion in a way, that's led on to different paths in my life and my career. I think with the trick training and the heel work to music, I don't compete in that anymore. And people often ask me why, and it is because for me and for Sully as well, who is my main performing dog at the moment, that is our job and that's my work. So I think when it comes to actually competing and having fun and just enjoying it, that's where agility comes into it. But I'm still very
That's really interesting that you've got, most people have it the other way around, don't they? They have agility as their main thing and their tricks as their, but yours, because it's such a big part of your life. So just obviously this is the first conversation that we've had. Just tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into dog training. I believe your mum was in dogs originally. So just tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my mum started in horses, then moved to dogs when she was about 18.
Oh, hang on.
And that was pretty much her whole life then, pets just. And then I did a bit of everything. I like most kids, did dance, did horses, but dogs were always just something that I was just quite natural at and very drawn to. I started properly training my mum's dog, Shani, who was a Papillon, when I was 5. And then that's it. Ever since then, I've just continued with it. I would say agility has been a massive, massive part of my life.
I'm sure,
there hasn't really been a year that I haven't done agility. Even when I won BGT, I tried to do as much competing in agility as possible. It's a little bit harder than being so busy in the media and stuff like that. But it's always something that I love to go back to, because in a way, so much has changed in agility with safety of dogs and equipment and stuff like that. But actually people and the atmosphere, it's still the same. So it's so nice to go back and everyone knows me and it's just chill and it's cool and it's just fun.
So how are you, so how do you deal then? Because obviously that's quite a huge part of your, it's really interesting that you talk about it being such a part of your life and how, for so long. How are you dealing at the moment, say, for example, of not having this? Because if even when at the height of your sort of your catapult to, prominence, as it were, you still needed agility and the agility family and the agility community to keep you grounded. So obviously at this current climate, you don't have that outlet for. So how are you dealing with the balance? I mean, I'm assuming obviously your media commitments are obviously on a back burner because of everybody's on lockdown, etc. How are you dealing with then being pulled away if the agility community was such a family? And I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to, that a lot of us that do dog sports, I've been a bit like you. I grew up doing it. That's a lot of my closest, nearest, and dearest friends are part. And obviously, you can communicate with them via social media and technology. But how are you dealing with it then? As as you said, it was something that's always kept you grounded. How are you balancing that at the moment?
Yeah, I have struggled a little bit. When I started competing last year, I took on my mum's dog.
Mm-hmm.
So with Zula, my youngster, she really got put on the back burner, bless her, because I was taking on a completely new dog as well as running Sully, and that both those dogs are running at championship level. So I had to put everything I had into them and their training and getting them ready for Crufts and champs and the AOs and stuff like that. So Zula really got put on the back burner. So this year for me was going to be all about her and her training and getting her out competing. And I haven't actually brought a new dog out since Sully, and Sully is 7 now. So it has been a while since I brought a new dog onto the agility scene. So I was really, really looking forward to this season more than any other season. So when all of this happened, I'm not gonna lie, I am gutted. At the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. So what I am trying to focus on at the moment is training, specific things. So with Sully, it's things that he is a little bit weaker on, same as Eliza. Eliza's training for me and her is more about getting our bonds together and me learning about her, because I never learned about her when she was younger. So it's kind of catching up with that training now. And then with Zula, it's everything, skills, everything together, weeds, contacts, all of that stuff. So it's keeping me busy, in the sense that I'm very lucky because I'm at Ants. I can still do agility and train my dogs. So I'm very, very lucky in that sense. I don't train them every day though. For me, I am very, very aware of over competing or over training my dogs. Sometimes at shows, like last year at the season, my dogs would only do 2 runs a day or something like that. Like, I am not the person to overwork my dogs at all. I'd much rather have a longer career and a short, quick one.
Is that because of the breed or the type of dog they are, or is that your what dictates that then? What makes you have that thinking?
That's more me. I mean, if it was down to my dogs, they would work and work and work. They love, Sully adores agility, Eliza adores agility. So it's nothing down to them. Touch wood, they haven't ever had injuries or anything like that.
Touch wood, absolutely, touch wood.
That I'm focusing on. I mean, I focus on my dogs and my health and fitness, their health and fitness, and they have chiropractors and therapists, as most agility people do. But I think it's just me being very aware. Like, Sully is 7, hopefully he's still got a good few years of competing left in him, and for me there is a saying in agility that every dog only has a certain number of runs in them, and I believe that, and I would much rather he still be running like Pudsey at 10-11, still being competitive, rather than cramming everything in quickly.
Absolutely. I think so. That's a really, really great point that you've made, Ashleigh, and I just want to draw on that in the sense that I think certainly this time, for a lot of us, to our whole year, our social life, our structure, our work is all planned around what we do at the weekend, which just happens to be dog shows, and whether you do agility or I dabble in various sports, but it's definitely, and it's also the place where we connect with people that we feel most closest to. It's where our social circle is. And I think a lot of people are going to have struggled with the fact that they aren't able to do that, and they've obviously tried to train their dogs or meet up or do online things. And I think that there has been also an element of unkindness where people have been a little bit judgmental about that. And I think people need to be mindful. And I'm really, really glad that you made the point of, for some people, yes, there is absolutely more to life than dog training and agility. I absolutely understand that. And this moment has absolutely articulated that. However, for a lot of people, this is a massive part of what they do and who they are. And it's the way in which they have a social circle, they keep their mental health in check, they keep happy, they're buoyant, they meet friends, meet peers, create family, as it were, and I think that's the thing to be mindful of. So I'm really grateful that you made that point, Ashleigh, about how and owning the fact that, you were a little bit like, you had these plans, and you had to think on your feet and move with what's been happened. Talking about planning, obviously you are you've had dogs at world championship level, because you had Sully at the EOs, was it the EOs, or
So I've had Pubsy at EOs,
right,
Sully's done WAOs, and
right,
he got a gold medal there.
Wow.
Never done worlds because I haven't ran a pedigree dog. So that was my hope and my long-term goal with Zula.
Right. So can Eliza, is she technically a pedigree dog then?
So she technically is, but I think my mum, because she wasn't ever competitive, or she didn't set her sights on GB, she registered her under the activity register, just because she didn't want to go through the pedigrees and stuff like that. So, no. So she could have, but now no. But to be honest, Eliza, for me, it's difficult with Eliza because she is really, really competitive, but also because I've taken her on. To me, whatever we do together, I'm happy with.
Yeah, I'm
sure.
Yeah.
There's a couple of little goals I've got there, but to be honest, I just really enjoy running her because she's different and she's so much fun.
So just to talk about her specifically for a moment. So those people that don't know, Ashleigh took on her mum's dog, Eliza, and as it happens, she is the reigning Crufts 2020 agility champion in medium. Is that just right? Is that right? Yeah.
The singles champion. In
okay.
medium.
See, and the bittersweetness with that was, very sadly, Ashleigh's mum, Penny, passed away. Was it end of last year? Last May. So she passed, and Ashleigh obviously took the dog on. And what was the previous circumstances? Did the dog live with your mum, and you hadn't had anything to do with her training wise?
No, so I've never trained Eliza, never ran her, never had not really a relationship with her, to be honest. Like, at that time, I still lived at home, so obviously she was around me and I was around her, but she was very, very, very much my mum's dog and very focused on her. And then when my mum found out that it was terminal, and she well, at first they said Christmas, but she battled on like she normally does with everything. And then she sadly passed away in May, and I started taking on Eliza, and the weird thing was when I started running Eliza, she'd be looking for my mum, and she'd be like, "Where's mum?" And then the last show that my mum came to was the very first championship show that I ran last year, and my mum come to watch, and Eliza, we'd already formed that bond to the point where Eliza went hi to my mum and then went, right, I'm off now to go running. So it was quite, in that moment, it was quite nice, but also
a bit. Oh, you knew that,
you saw that change happen.
So was it a conversation? Had you had the conversation that with your mum? Okay, this is the plan. I'm going to take her on. The intention. So again, just to give everybody a bit of backstory. Penny passed away of cancer, and as she just explained, it was a quite a long drawn out battle. Unfortunately, passing away in May. Ashleigh took Eliza on, and obviously they bonded and had to bond and almost, I suppose, for a lot of ways, almost start from the ground up really and rebuild that. And that must have been quite a hard, not only because she's your mum's dog and you've got the emotional, you're going through that. Had you had the discussion with your mum, right, I'm going to take, the dog's going to come, and did your mum want you to compete with her? Did she have any strong opinions about it? What was her wishes, as it were?
Yeah, 100%. So we'd had the talk, and my mum had 3 dogs at that point. She had her older border collie, Reiki, who my dad now has, who's just the easiest loving dog in the whole world. Eliza, who she was competing with, so obviously I took her on. And yeah, 100%, my mum wanted me to compete with her. Oh, wow. Like you said, for me, it was like starting from scratch, but also she'd learned things that I wouldn't normally teach my dogs, or commands that I wouldn't normally use, that I've had to adapt to, that Eliza had to adapt to. My mum's handling was completely different to mine. So, 100% just, go from scratch, start again. And then my mum also had, I think at that point, she was a year old. She was a border collie cross bearded collie.
Oh, wow.
Called Winter. So And I said to my mum there and then, I went, look, I would 100% take on Eliza, but I had just got Zula at this point, and I have always said 3 dogs for me is enough. That's you know, if I want to focus on all of them, that is enough for me. So luckily, my mum's one of her best friends, Alison, took her on. So she's still doing agility now, and she's part of the same dog training club, Wellingborough Dog Training Club. So I get to see her. So yeah, really, really lucky that she's gone to such a great home, and I can still see her in action and training and everything. So yeah, it panned out very well. Everything kind of went smoothly. Obviously, it's for my mum, the hardest moment was letting Winter go, because she's not staying in our family then. She's moving on to someone else. She's that's hard, but yeah, very, very grateful that Eliza has settled in so easily with me.
Oh, amazing. So you obviously start competing with her. You qualified for Crufts. I'm assuming you qualified her for Crufts, didn't you?
Yes, so with the cross singles, you have to collect points throughout the year. So that was 2019, collecting points for 2020.
So you qualified for Crufts, and then how was your thoughts going into Crufts? Because that in itself must have been a really emotional experience for you, given the circumstances and such a big occasion. How was that for you? Just the reason I'm asking this, just to people listening, is I specifically asked Ashleigh if she was comfortable talking about her mum and the circumstances around Eliza, to draw on the point of, even in what could be your darkest moment, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think that's the thing to take away, because as I said at the beginning of this interview, Eliza did actually go on to win Crufts, which must have been a really amazing moment. And, I think anybody that knew the background would have absolutely felt how special that was for you and the circumstances. And I wanted to have everybody listen to that point to say, even in what you feel is your worst time, something good can come from it. So back to you, Ashleigh.
Yeah, so I'd already, last May, my mum got really ill, and she was told basically you have a week. So at that point, I was just about to go away to the Netherlands to go to the WAO's World Agility Opens with Eliza. She'd qualified, and Sully. So in that moment, it's do I go? Do I not go? It was a hard moment for me, choosing the right choice. And my mum said to me, look, I want you to go. This is kind of her last wish in a way. And she obviously, by this point, she was deteriorating a lot, and I was still talking to her, but I could tell she wasn't well. And then when I got back, she passed away that day. So I'm very grateful that I got back. But my dad said the thing that was keeping her going was watching me run my dogs doing agility, because she loved it so much. So I'm, in that moment, I've had people say to me, don't go, do go. I know people judged me in that moment. It's a hard decision to make for anybody. But what I had to think to myself was, do you know what? This is what my mum wanted. Absolutely. And no one else would know that. No one else would understand that. So I kind of just had to
blink it out.
Forget about talking behind my back, saying what they're saying. I had to go what my mum wanted to do. So I'd already had that moment. So when it came to Crufts, it was hard because it was my first Crufts without my mum. But I knew our job. I knew this was Eliza's first time, and I'd been there lots and lots of times, but I didn't know what Eliza was going to be like. But I actually just wanted to go and enjoy it and have fun, got to the final. I was happy with that, and I thought, do you know what? Now we're just going to go for this run. I don't care what happens. If we get eliminated, I don't care. We've got here, and we're just going to have fun with it. And that was our best run we've ever done together.
Wow.
Ever. It felt incredible, that run. And then to win it, there was lots of tears.
I can absolutely imagine. Even hearing you talk about it and all the background makes me, as a parent, I think that's the thing to I think that moment, that sort of sanctity of the relationship you had with your mother, only you and her know what that was. And and I think for you to honor her memory in such a beautiful way, really says so much, really. And I think that's something that, you know, again, in your darkest time, I suspect for you and your family to have something amazing like that. I think nobody, I mean, it's the thing of a Disney film. I'm sure that'd be the next thing on your, when you win your Oscar for the performance of, but I mean, it's just amazing. It really is such an, the thing that I wanted people to draw on is, you know, in this moment, everybody feels like this is the worst thing. A lot of people are feeling a high level of anxiety and, you know, getting depressed about the current state. And I'm sure those emotions were things that Ashleigh was feeling when her mum passed and all the stuff. And then people then comment on it, and people then criticizing you, and people that really don't know what you as an individual are going through, how you deal with, you know, the things that you're being thrown, whether it be the passing of a loved one or, you know, being isolated, you know, been separated from your family, etc., etc. That stuff can be very personal, and the thing is to ensure that you stay grounded, you know you are being true to yourself, and to know that out of all of it some positive will come. And I think that's what Ashleigh's the thing that I'm certainly pulling from what Ashleigh said. But so thank you very much for sharing that with me, Ashleigh. I really appreciate, that's quite a personal thing, so I really do appreciate you being so candid and open. So in terms of you, let's go back to the more lightened stuff. So Panto, is Panto likely to be happening for you then this year, or is it all up in the air?
Who knows, to be honest. Where are we? We're in April now. Normally I would be hearing about, you know, where I'm going and what I'm doing and stuff like that, and getting job offers in. Obviously that's not happening at the moment. So I think if it does happen, it will be a very last minute thing. That everyone will go, okay, let's go crazy. The world's back together. We're okay. Let's kickstart it. Absolutely. But on the other hand, I actually think Panto now would be the perfect thing.
I agree. Uplifting. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Fun. Yeah.
I love Panto because for those hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, that people are watching, you know, it takes you away. Yeah. And there's so much involved. There's laughter, there's singing, dancing, whatever else. But I can also look out into an audience and see a whole family together. Absolutely. So kids, mum and dad, grandparent, aunt, uncle, you know, that's what I love. It brings everyone together, and I think right now that's what we need. Absolutely. A bit of happiness in our lives. Absolutely. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully. So in terms of you're obviously a top level competitor. How and what are you focusing on with your young dogs? You said you're putting a lot of work into your Pyrenean. What is the what's she like to train, and how are you getting on with training her? Oh really? Oh, like that, is it?
So I put a post on Facebook the other day, actually.
Yeah, I saw. You said she's quite challenging.
Yeah, she is a challenge, but I knew that before. I'd done all my research. I'd asked many Pyrenean owners what they are like. So I had done lots and lots of research. So I knew she was going to be a challenge. But I'd had Sully, and he was a challenge to train in a sense that he had no confidence. He thought the world was going to kill him.
Oh,
He's
really?
a bit of a hyperconfidence and stuff like that. Right. So in that sense, he had natural drive to want to do things, but actually getting that confidence out of him was what I had to really work on. Yeah. Zula's training at the moment. She's very different in the sense that if I'm not putting 100% in, why should she put 100% in? Right. She's a typical girl.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's bitches for you, Ashleigh.
I'll do it.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. Yeah.
So, she is challenging in a completely different way to all of my other dogs, but I feel like she's got that special something about her as well. It just takes me looking at it from a different perspective and change my training to suit her. So at the moment, rather than, I mean, to be honest with her, I haven't done huge sequences at all. It's lots of confidence building and speed building. I haven't really done much skill. She doesn't really do much apart from straight up and down and round, and she does a couple of like wing rats and stuff like that. But what I want to focus on her is just enjoying it, getting that drive out of her, and creating the best bond and relationship we can together.
And do you feel that's coming with her?
Slowly, yes, I do. Like I said, bless her, last year I didn't do very much with her. That's why I didn't bring her out. She was too immature, she was too young. It would have been absolutely pointless, and I think really would have hindered her career if I had brought her out last year. So that's why I'm pretty gutted about this season not happening or whatever's happening.
Yeah.
But it also gives me the chance to train her and get that bond and relationship even better.
Yeah, and in a year's time, she's going to be a better dog for it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's taken this lockdown and quarantine for me to be able to focus solely on her, which she needs.
Excellent. Yeah, that's really, really great advice from somebody obviously that's been incredibly successful, is train the dog in front of you. They are all individual, they're all different, especially if you are going to be a trainer that trains different breeds of dogs. You have to adapt to what's in front of you, and not all of them are going to be superstars in a heartbeat. Some of them just need time, and they need patience, and they need nurturing. So again, fantastic advice from Ashleigh there. So just as a final closer, what are your potential goals for your dogs, and what is it that you at the moment is keeping you motivated at this strange time? Then what have you got on the horizon?
So obviously, like everyone else, my goals have changed a lot this year. The WAOs have managed to change their date to October. So fingers crossed, we will be able to do that, but who knows? So with Sully, that is my goal with him.
Where will they be, Ashleigh?
In the process.
Are they in the UK?
No, so the WAOs are in the Netherlands.
Okay.
And we're representing Team England for that. So Sully's on the team, and Eliza is a travelling reserve. So both of them just getting them fit for that. Sully, I'm in the process at the moment of changing from a stock contact to a running contact. So that's my focus with him in the lockdown at the moment. But other than that, it is keeping them fit and healthy, especially Sully and Eliza. I'm not doing loads of training with them because, one, they don't particularly need it. And if I do any training, it is tiny little bits, like no course running, nothing like that. Like I said, just Sully's dog walk. And then Zula, exactly the same as what I said. I mean, I wasn't expecting loads from her this season. This season was just going to be building up her confidence, going to different shows and getting new atmospheres, different atmospheres, seeing how she handles that. Obviously now I can't do that, so it's what I said earlier, just perfecting her and her relationship. Goals wise, keeping them fit and healthy as much as possible, and keeping them entertained as well. I mean, like I said, I'm lucky, I can train them, I can walk them, so I'm really lucky, but I'm still doing all of my core conditioning and fitness and trick training with them, so not great goals, not massive goals at the moment, but
they're your goals, and that's the thing I think to stress. They are personal to you, they are keeping you motivated, and they're keeping you focused. So just a couple of final points is one is the agility community have banded together to do an amazing thing, which I know you are part of, to raise money for the NHS. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that, and what involved, and when's that going to be happening, so people can jump on board and support?
Yes, so Ant came up with the idea of agility relief. We were talking about it, and I was helping him out with it with little bits, and then little did I know I was going to be part of it.
That's how it works with Anthony.
Cool. It's a cool idea. So taking 16 pretty well-known agility handlers from all different ages, all different backgrounds, whatever, and basically we're doing all these challenges. So we're in heights. We've got small, medium, intermediate and large. We are competing against each other, and each person in their height will do one challenge. So there's a baking challenge, there's a lip syncing challenge, there's a dancing challenge, and there's a fitness challenge. I somehow got nominated for the dancing challenge. And it was really, really hard, but great fun. So if anybody can tune in.
When is that happening? Yeah, go on.
It is the first challenge is going up on Monday and running through till Thursday next week. So and they're great fun. Everyone is so competitive as well.
So what is there a Facebook page? I bet they are. I've just seen a couple of people like practicing and stuff like that. So it's Agility Relief. Check out the Facebook page. You can donate money and support. I think is there a GoFundMe page? Or
yes,
just giving.
So literally anything anybody can donate. Amazing. Like it could be anything.
And all the money is going to go to the NHS to support. So it was Anthony Clark's brainchild, and he's got loads of people supporting. So I did post a thing on my Facebook recently about it. So have a look at that. Ashleigh will obviously have it on hers. I'll post a link on that. And as I say, different teams, they're competing different things. It's all going to be happening next week, Monday through to Thursday. So check that out. And finally. What's with the TikTok addiction?
I don't know. It was just me and him, really bored. So we were like,
really
do
bored.
some dance. Yeah, really bored. And then it just, I think that's where his idea came from, though.
Yeah.
And people were commenting, going, "This is so much fun! Like, thank you.
Yeah.
This is keeping us really happy in these dark times."
Yeah.
So I think that's where his idea of agility relief really came from. Us just doing stupid dances, but that's that's what you've got to do to get through
and why not? And why not? But though, you know what, Ashleigh, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is the first conversation we've had. I can certainly say your mother will be incredibly proud, not only for all you've achieved, but the gracious, humble, chic young lady that you are. I'm sure. I wish you nothing but the best and success in everything that you do. I'm sure Agility Relief is going to be amazing. So I'll get this video posted before that. Do you know roughly what time Agility Relief or the competition's going to be at on Monday?
I think the first one goes out at 6 p.m.
Okay, fine. I will make sure that this video is out before that, so people are aware. Again, jump on board. Amazing cause, I should say, by the agility community to raise awareness and support and money for the NHS, who are doing an incomparable job at the moment to deal with the COVID-19 virus. Thank you, Ashleigh. I wish you all the best. Go and work on your tan. You'll be as dark as me soon. Take care. See you later. Cheers. Bye.